My name's Zach Freeman. I'm fighting Aaron Pico on the Bellator NYC card. Compound fractured my hand in the RFA title fight. If you go back and watch the fight, I did a pretty good job of keeping a good poker face. You couldn't tell in the fight that I was badly injured, except that I wasn't throwing my right hand. I was actually trying to throw elbows from out of distance and things. So in the first round, I believe I fractured it, and then in the second round, I believe is when I really did the most damage. Pretty much at the beginning of the round. On the judges' scorecards, I actually won the first round. But after in the second, when I really did the damage to my hand, I pretty much lost all my steam. I'm not making excuses, but the reality is, man, you need your hands to fight. They tried to pin my bone, and when they did, the bone was pretty much misaligned. So they had to take the pin out and put a plate in my hand. So I actually have I have a Z on my hand, which is kind of cool for Zach. So some people might look at it and be like, oh, the guy carves his initial on his hand, but no, it's from the surgery. But they had to put a plate in my hand just to hold my bone together, and I told them I wanted to fight in the future, so the doctor made the decision to put a plate in there. I was in McAllen, Texas, which is right by the border of Mexico, kind of down in South Padre Island area. A gentleman named Patrick called me, and he said, "Hey, what do you think about this?" And I was like, yeah, I think anybody who fights and gets offered to fight at Madison Square Garden, it's the pinnacle for our sport. I think it's cooler than fighting at MGM or anywhere in Vegas. I think they picked the wrong guy for his debut. I believe he's going to be a very, very tough fighter, but at the end of the day, I've got the experience in there. I've fought a 5-round fight. I've fought injured. I've had my bell rung and fought through and won. I've kind of been through the veteran experience, even though I only have 10 pro fights, where I just feel like he's really, I feel like whoever consulted him and his team and said, let's pick this guy, I think they screwed up, man. I really do. I've done everything I can to prepare myself. I travel a lot for work, so I've been traveling at different gyms. So big shout out to my home gym, St. Charles MMA. Some great people have came from that gym, including the welterweight champion Tyron Woodley. Mike Rogers, he was his wrestling coach, got him into mixed martial arts. Tyron took advantage of moving his opportunity to American Top Team, which we regret him doing that. I think he could have stayed at our gym and still been the champion. We've had quite a few guys leave our gym. Andrew Sanchez just won the Ultimate Fighter. He's born and bred from my gym. Josh Sampo, Lance Benoist, Alpo Zishlik. We've had a lot of solid guys come from our gym. They just don't stick around, And I feel like guys think they need to go to, Muscle Farm or they need to go to American Top Team. It's not true, As long as you have good guys around you, our gym's just as good as any gym. So I'm hoping to kind of put us on the map and keep loyal to our gym. Honestly, it's kind of funny, like anyone that knows me, that's trained with me, that's been punched by me or subbed by me, they're like, they fucked up. They screwed up, like they're like, and that's where I'm saying whoever consulted them probably watched some of my losses, were like, oh, this guy can't hang with you. We'll see on June 24th, I'm not going to take anything away from Aaron. He's worked very hard to get his name where he is. I think a lot of the promotion behind him is because he brings such a wrestling pedigree to mixed martial arts. And we haven't really had a lot of guys do that. Mike Chandler was a All-American wrestler. Tyron Woodley was. There's other fighters out there. I really just keep an eye on the guys from the Midwest. But I feel like he kind of is going to bring a lot of USA wrestling fans. But I hate to break it to you guys. He's got a tough fight ahead of him. It takes a lot of discipline. I pretty much carry avocados everywhere I go. I make sure I eat half of one for breakfast every day. Um, my sister is actually a dietitian, and her name is the Nutrition Vixen. Check her out online. She's got amazing recipes. She lives in Orange County, California, in Chula Vista, and she's got some really great clients. But she's actually getting ready to release what's called the 21-day metabolic makeover. And I really think she's going to make it big time with this. It's an amazing diet. I started at 195, so I kind of blew up after my fight and surgery and that, being laid up. And I'm already down to, the high 60s right now. So my cut's not a problem. I'll make weight just like I always do. I do keep visualizing it, and I think I'm going to hurt him, and I think I'm going to finish him by submission. That's what I see. That's what I keep visualizing. I'm visualizing an upset win over Aaron, and then I'm visualizing an opponent that beat my old training partner, Jake Roberts, Steve something. They were a lightweight feature fight on Bellator about 2 months ago. He just caught Jake Roberts, and I think Jake should have won that fight. He got caught like we all do, and I kind of see them matching me up with him, and then me beating him and possibly getting a shot, to fight the champion. So I'm imagining a couple fights away from possibly being the Bellator champion. So it's wishful thinking, but that's what it takes, Look at Connor, he did more than wishful think. He believed it, and that's what you have to do in the sport. You got to believe it. You got to visualize it. That's part of success in just general, When you run a business or you make a product, you have to visualize it. So I'm excited. I'm actually going to be walking out to my own music that I wrote along with a friend of mine. I'm also going to be featuring a product that I designed in the cage. So look out for that. It's a product that I developed, designed, and engineered. And I'm working with a company called Square Fruit Labs, who will be a main sponsor of mine. So I'm excited. I think this is it's a piece of equipment that'll be added onto MMA that I think should get regulated into the sport, into the cage, for hygiene reasons and just for being clean, So I'm excited to debut that. This is a product I made myself that I hope to one day turn into a business. I want to thank a lot of my sponsors, Autoplex Extended Warranties. They really helped me out with this fight, so I really appreciate everything that they're doing, as well as 212 Nightclub and also Show Me Credit Solutions. They're a big sponsor of mine. I have a whole list of them, so I could call them all out, but I'll save that for when I win the fight. Look up Zach Freeman on Facebook. Shoot me a like if you like my style. I usually entertain. On Instagram, I'm Altar Boy MMA. If you haven't understood why I got the nickname, pretty much I was weighing in one day for my second amateur fight, and a well-known ring announcer named Tony Biondo, he walked by me and he said, "What are you doing? What are you doing here?" And I was like, "I'm weighing in." He's like, "You fight?" I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "You look more like an altar boy than a fighter." And pretty much it's stuck since. I actually was an altar boy. I grew up in the church and I went to Catholic school, so I kind of embraced it. It's unique, and people remember it, so I just ran with it. And I want to say thank you, James, for your time. You run a great site, and you do some great interviews, so I appreciate you. Also, thank you to all my family and friends, as well as all my training partners. I want to say thank you to Trials MMA in Fort Collins. You guys have been a huge help for when I'm in Denver. And also just anyone who I stop in and train at your gym, thank you for embracing me and welcoming me with your hospitality and helping me live out my dream.